This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now today we're having a very interesting discussion, and you know, for me, I always have a hard time saying this, so forgive me. Sword Sorcery is, you know, one of those classic all-time games for me, and in the sense that it came out during a time when there wasn't a ton of dungeon crawls, or it was kind of starting to. There was starting to be a pretty crowded field there, and this was a game that gave you a little bit something different. But as time goes on, it's kind of fallen, and it's either I made a video about this before. Either it's extremely loved or it's extremely hated. You know, some people just think it's you know all the different things on the dice and stuff like that. You know that, okay, how do I figure this out? And you almost have to learn another language, which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. And the miniatures, I mean, let's be honest, they're okay. I actually cut this guy off and put him on a different base, and you know, one of my favorite characters in the series. And, you know, I've done that with a few different guys. I've cut them off and put them on different bases just to give them a little pizzazz or kind of feel into this. And some I've left on. But they're coming out with a new Kickstarter. And I wonder, is it too little too late for this? Has too many different types of dungeon crawls passed this by? Can this... Abyssal Legends, I believe it is. Of course, I'm butchering it, but bear with me. You know, this time it's at the high seas. You're going to be doing things with a ship, trying to repair a ship. And all these things are really interesting. But are people done with this game? I mean, it's come out with numerous expansions. One of my favorite expansions, as a matter of fact, is... the Dragon Lair, which I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed painting this tremendous model. This is just an absolute favorite of mine, and you know, yeah. But have I played it much on the channel? No, to be honest with you, because it's very complicated. Now, does that make it a bad game? No, not at all. But I don't think it translates very well on this particular channel, and it's something that you know, I've been thinking about, you know, revisiting. You know, the storybook. You know, they tell you a really nice story here, and you know, the rule book is a little bit hard to follow at times, but you know, I have everything for it. Am I going to go out and get this when it goes live? You know, I might. I just might. But, you know, I kind of wonder, is this, you know, with so many great dungeon crawls out there, and there are a lot of great dungeon crawls, do I invest my money to keep my series together? You know, the old fear of missing out thing. But, or do I just let this one pass by? Because as much as I've seen the trailers for it, I don't know if I'm that interested in it. You know, I really consider myself, you know, kind of evolving it a bit. You know, the 10th edition of Warhammer just recently came out, and I kind of went, and I let that pass by. And it just becomes a point where too much of the same old thing. Is there going to be enough change in this? Is there going to be enough different things that or maybe repair some of the problems that people complained about? Did they listen? Is this just, hey, we have another expansion for it? You know, we know that this will sell well. You know, and I think it will do well. I think it'll do very well for Ares. You know, they've always made good quality stuff, but this is just one of those games you wonder, has time passed it by? Has it gone too far? I mean, is it too far out of the loop? Is anybody going to care? Is anybody going to really invest? You know, if you came out with this maybe 4 years ago, another expansion for it, or 3 years ago, do you think people would have cared more? I think so. I think right now, with all the wonderful stuff, I mean, you look at some of these companies, what they're doing. I mean, they are making. Look what a little independent guy did. All right, League of Dungeoneers. Okay, didn't need minis, did it? But it told a wonderful story. Was easy to adapt and grab a hold of. Okay, and you know where Hero Quest is very, very simple. This is on the other spectrum where this can be very kind of complicated and kind of really a little tough at times. And I wonder if that falls into it too, where there are other dungeon crawls out there that are just a lot easier. Yeah, you can go Hero Quest, who is putting up another Kickstarter very, very, very soon. Okay, for another expansion for Hero Quest. They're doing a great Hasbro. It's the only thing that they've done right, is they're doing a good job with that. Okay, and then also you have the new Descent coming out. Okay, for those of you that are Descent fans, I mean, let's be honest. Okay, either you love it or you hate it, but it is still very popular. Does that fall into the line of Sword and Sorcery? Is it really either loved or hated? You've got Shadows of Brimstone with tons and tons and tons of stuff. Does that overpass it? Frosthaven, which is another one that a different type of thing, but immense. Does this new going out to sea thing really translate into something different? Does it fix things? And that's where I put it out to you. Now, from what I've seen, it looks interesting. It looks like it's going to be something, that'll hit home for a lot of people. For me, I'll wait for it to come to retail, then I'll scoop it up. But with all the mail that I get about this game, it's either people that absolutely swear by it, and then people that absolutely just despise this game, saying, I just don't like what it does. It doesn't make any sense. You look at another great game that's coming out very soon, Chronicle of Drungor, the Apocalypse. How innovative and great was that? And easy to play, and smart and intuitive. Is this just outdated mechanics? And that's one of the things that I pose to you guys. I'm not trying to be negative. I got nothing against Ares or even the game itself, because it stays in my collection. It's one of those things I have everything for, and I painted everything for it that came out, and I will continue. Like I said, Big Boy here, he's all ready to go if I decided to throw down the gloves. But is this just too little too late for this game? And I guess that's something we're going to have to see in the coming days, when this Kickstarter comes live. I wish them the best. I hope it does very, very well. I don't wish anybody any bad things. Well, maybe a few people. But this is just one of those games that is very, very, either you love it or you hate it. There's no in between on this one. And this latest expansion, I just wonder if it's too little too late. Check out the trailer on YouTube. Ares is putting it out there. Keep an eye out for the Kickstarter, and let's see what happens with the latest edition of Swords and Sorcery. Sword and Sorcery, not swords. Sword and Sorcery. Till next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.